Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. Okay, last session we have completed up to GL accounts. Today we will start from balance part of that master file creation. Today we will start from fixed asset. Okay, we can maintain our fixed asset from this system, but depreciation not calculate automatically. From here, we can create our assets and we can maintain as a fixed asset register. Okay, to create assets, go to company, assets, add an asset. Here we can enter that item description. Then we can create category. If it is motor vehicle, furniture and fittings, then buildings, like that, we can create category here. After that, we can enter that location of that assets. If it is in a head office or whether it's in branch, that location, or if you have only one location, you can add location as your accounts department, then marketing department, like that. If you have only one location, you can create location as departments. Then date of purchase, serial number of that asset, and brought from purchase price, current value, or else if you are newly purchased, you have only purchase price, and if replacement value available, you can enter that replacement value. And also from here, user defined fields, you can add that user defined fields. And from notes, you can enter that notes, or if you have any purchase documents, such as if you are purchasing a motor vehicle, you may have registration book. Those attachments you can add. And also if you are purchasing a motor vehicle, that vehicle renewal, vehicle license renewal, and vehicle emission test, those notes you can add from these notes. Then when action date reads, it will show in dashboard. Then you can create asset categories when you are creating the item, or from asset categories you can create that asset categories. Click add category, enter description and save. And also you can enter asset locations, click add location, enter description or enter location, and you can save. Okay, like this you can create fixed assets. If you have any questions, you can ask. Or you can take 5 minutes and you can create two assets, and you can create that asset categories and asset locations. Okay, next we will move to analysis code. We can use analysis code for, now for an example, if you are if you have branches or if you have departments or projects, you can use this analysis code, and you can generate profit and loss report for analysis code wise. For an example, if you have different departments, when you are entering transactions such as expenses or customer invoices, you can select that department, and you can generate report that department wise profitability report you can generate. And also you can generate transaction report that analysis code wise. Okay, and also if you are in construction industry, you may have different projects or jobs. Then if you want to generate project price profitability report, you can activate this analysis code, and you can when you are entering transactions such as customer invoices, supplier invoices, journal entries, you can select that project or job, and you can generate project price profitability report. Okay, first you need to create analysis code. Go to company, select analysis code. Sometimes in your screen it will display analysis code 1, analysis code 2, analysis code 3. Then if you have branches, you can select the first analysis code, and you can rename as branch, and you can create branches. Or if you have, if your company has department, you can select first analysis code, and you can enter department, and you can enter departments here. By clicking this green color button, you can add your departments. Okay, and if you are using this analysis code, please tick this in use tick box, then it will activate. Okay, you can use 3 types of analysis code, and each analysis code you can enter any number of subcategories, such as if you are entering department, you can enter any number of departments, and if you have projects, you can enter any number of projects in the system. Okay, now I'll show how to enter or how to select that analysis code. Now if you are entering customer transactions, you will take tax invoice. You can select that items, and from here you can select department or job or your analysis code. Okay, and then when you are processing this customer invoice, then this income will go to that particular analysis code. Okay, then when you are entering supplier invoices, you can select that department. Then bank transactions, you can select job from here. In journal entries, you can select that analysis code. Like that, you can select analysis code when you are processing transaction. and you can generate analysis code wise report. Okay, like this you can generate analysis code wise or profitability report. If you are allocating to any department, it will display here, or if you are not allocating to any department, it will show under uncategorized column. Okay, you can create that analysis code, and when you are processing transaction, if analysis code not available, you can customize it from this customize grid. Click on this analysis code and save. Then in your screen, analysis code will display. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask. Or you can create few analysis codes, and please check in the transactions also. After you enter analysis code, please go to transactions and check whether those analysis codes available. Okay, next we will move to administration. We will create users in the system. In your current system, you have another user, and if you want add more users, first you need to go to administration, my profile, and you can see how many users available. And if you want to increase number of users, you can click this upgrade button. And here under additional users, you can enter number of users, and you can next, and you can finish that upgrade number of users. Or initially you have in your system you have 2 users, you can create another user from now. After you update the number of users, you can create users, go to administration, manage users, click add user, enter user's first name, last name, email address and telephone numbers, and after that you can save. Or and also if you are creating accountant for your company, then you can create add accountant, and you can enter accountant's name, and from here user type, you can select this user is my accountant, and you can save. In this user also you can enter notes, and you can save the user. Okay, if you have different email address, you can create that, you can create the user from that different email address. Same email address, you cannot create more than one user. Okay, you can create users from administration, manage users, click add user, enter user details, first name, last name, email address, telephone numbers, and you can save the user. If you are adding your accountant as a user, click add accountant and enter user details, first name, last name, email address, telephone numbers, and you can save. Okay, now you can create user. After that, we will change that user access control. Okay, now you can create users. Okay, next we will move to control user access. Now in your system you have two users. Now we can change user controls. First go to administration, click control user access. From here you can select the user, click on permissions. Now system will display available modules, and you can change that users access control from here. Now you can view that main modules, then you can click this plus mark and drill down that other features, and if you want to allow you can tick this option, and if you want to remove that access from the user, you can untick this option. Okay, now here you can remove that access from each transaction wise, or if you want to remove access to for an entire module, you can untick from here, then entire module access will not grant for that user. Okay, and now we will see that customer transactions. Now from here, now for an example, if you want to allow a particular users access only for creating invoices or creating receipts, you can select that, tick that option only. After that, now for an example, if you want to give permission only create invoices, then you can tick that option and you can remove or you can untick other options or other modules you can untick. Okay, then this user can do only tax invoices. And also that security purposes, if you want, you can remove this edit customer tax invoice after printed, or edit customer tax invoices. Then users cannot edit transactions after printed or after process. And also now if you are the administrator, you can change these access options from for such an adjust opening balances. It's better if you remove from other users, then other users cannot change that opening balances. Like this, you can change your user permissions. Okay, now you can change or you can give that access permission to your user, and after that you can log in from that user and check what are the access options available for that particular user. Okay, first you can change some settings of this user, or you can change that access permissions, and after that you can log in from that user and you can check that available user permissions. Okay, after you create the user, your user will receive an email from noreply@sage.com to accept that or confirm the account. After you confirm the account, you can log into that system from that user also. And also, if you have different more than one company in your system, uh, you need to grant access to that each company wise. Now, for an example, this company has another this group has another company. Then you can log into that company and go to control user access, and from here you can select that user and you can drag and drop. Okay, then this user can log into this company also. Okay, if you have more than one company, you need to change access permission each company wise. Then you can drag and drop that users from uh, this from user list, and you can change that permissions. Okay, if you have any questions regarding these master file creations, you can ask now. Hope you have practiced that previous session: customer, supplier, item, banking, accounts creation. Okay, now we have completed master file creation. Next, we can move to transactions. First, we will start from supplier transactions. First, we will start supplier purchase order. Okay, to enter supplier purchase order, go to supplier transactions, supplier purchase orders. Okay, uh, from here we can create or add purchase order by clicking this add purchase order. And we can select supplier from here. When you are selecting the supplier, it will display that supplier contact details, balance, credit limit, those things, and document number will display here. Now I think you can remember when you are doing that customers company settings, we have set that document numbers. Company, change company settings, document and statements, document numbers. From here we can set our purchase order number, and if you set number here, from next transaction it will use this number. Okay, then system will display current date, and if you are giving if supplier giving credit period, or if it will calculate that credit period, and if supplier giving any discount, it will display here. Then you can select items from here, selection. You can enter purchase order quantity and price, and you can process the purchase order. If you want, you can email or you can print. And also if you are not purchasing any item, if you want to directly transfer to GL account, you can select account from here and select GL account. And also you can select that analysis code from here. And also if you now if your prices showing exclusive price, if you want, you can change to inclusive price by ticking this use inclusive amount option. From these layouts, you can select a layout, and later we will discuss how to design a layout. You can add, if you want add additional items, you can add by clicking this green plus mark button. And there are two discounts. Now first one is if you enter discount here, it will apply for all line items in this purchase order. And if you want to enter discounts each line item wise, you can enter discount rate or discount discount amount here. There are two discount options. First one is total discount. If you enter discount here, it will apply for all line items in this purchase order, or you can enter each line item wise discount percentage or discount amount. And also if you want to add any notes to this item, you can enter here. And also you can use this message for if you want to add any instructions to this purchase order. Okay, after enter these details, you can save, or if you want to email to supplier, you can click this email, or you can print and send physical document to the supplier. Okay, now you can enter purchase order. If you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, you can enter these details, and also if these items, if tax apply for these items, you can select that tax rates. Then system will calculate that taxes. Then we will move to these options. First, we need to save the purchase order. Then I'll open another one. Okay, from these options, you can view that purchase order history when you enter that purchase order. If you have changed or edited this purchase order, you can view that details. If you change any amounts or values, you can view from this purchase order history. Then user-defined fields. If you want to add any user-defined fields to this purchase order, you can enter from here. I think you can remember this from here, company settings. We can set these user-defined fields. Then document attachment. If you want to attach any documents to this purchase order, you can attach, such as that supplier quotation or supplier proposal. You can attach from here. Then document notes. And if your supplier confirm the order, you can change this to confirm. Or if you are canceling this order, you can select this cancel. And from this create invoice, you can convert this purchase order to an invoice. Now, after your supplier sends goods, you can change this purchase order to supplier invoice. And also, if you want to copy same purchase order, you can copy from by clicking this copy purchase order. Okay, now you can check these options. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, then we will move to supplier invoices. Now in purchase orders, there's no any accounting entries. It's just a document. There's no supplier or inventory item updation. Now, if you convert this purchase order to an invoice, then your supplier balance will update and your inventory will update. Okay, from purchase order there's no any accounting transactions, and if you convert this purchase order to an invoice or supplier invoice, then your supplier balance will increase, and your inventory item balance also will increase. Okay, uh, you can enter the supplier invoice from suppliers transactions, supplier invoices, and also we can use this supplier invoice as GRN. uh, when we are entering GRN also, good receive note, that our supplier that item balance will increase, and supplier balance also increase. Go to suppliers transactions, supplier invoice, add supplier invoice. Okay, you can select the supplier from here. When you select the supplier, that you can view that supplier balance, and if your supplier send an invoice, you can enter that supplier invoice number, and you can select that items, and you can process that supplier invoice. Okay, select the supplier from supplier drop down menu, enter supplier invoice, select items and enter quantity and price. After that, you can process the supplier invoice. Okay, okay, assume now you have entered purchase order for this supplier. Then you enter again. You can select the supplier. Then from this purchase orders, you can select the purchase order. Then system will convert that purchase order to invoice, and you don't want to enter that items. System will uh, pop up that purchase order items to this invoice. Okay, you can directly convert that purchase order to invoice, and then you can save this supplier invoice. Or else there's another option. If you already entered an purchase order, you can go to that purchase order list and select that purchase order, click this actions and create invoice. Then you don't want to select that suppliers or items, you can directly process this supplier invoice. Okay, there are three options. First one, go to supplier transactions, supplier invoice, click add supplier invoice, select the supplier, and you can enter that items, quantity and prices. Second option is you can select from purchase orders. and process the supply invoice. Third option, if you already entered an purchase order, go to purchase orders, click actions, create invoice. Okay, like this, you can enter supplier invoices. When you enter supplier invoices, that inventory will debit and supplier or trade payables will credit. Okay, these are journal entries. Inventory value will debit and trade payables will credit. Okay, now you can enter supplier invoice. Okay, if you are purchasing these items for a particular job or any analysis code, you can select that analysis code from here. And also it's compulsory to enter this supplier invoice number. Without entering this supplier invoice number, you cannot save this supplier invoice. Then we will move to options. You can view the sales history. If you have any return details, you can view from here. Then you can enter user-defined fields. Document attachments, document notes, and if you purchase these items for credit, you can enter anticipated payment dates. If you entered anticipated payment date, it will display on dashboard. Then if you are returning these items to supplier, you can create supplier return, or if you can return and re-invoice, or if you are going to pay for this supplier, you can create payment from here. And also if you want to copy this invoice, you can copy from here. Okay, now you can check these options. Okay, next we will move to supplier returns. We can enter supplier returns from supplier transactions, supplier returns. Click add supplier return. Select the supplier, and from here you can enter that return items, enter quantity and price, and you can process the supplier return. Okay, go to suppliers, transactions, supplier returns, click add supplier return, select the supplier, select return items, enter quantity and price, and after that you can process supplier return. Okay, and also there's another option, and if you are returning full invoice, you can select the supplier here, and from invoice you can select that invoices which you purchase from this supplier. Then it will display all invoices you purchase from this supplier, and you can select that invoice. After that it will display these items in that invoice, and you can process this supplier return. If you want to change, you can change from here. If you want to change the quantity, you can change, and you can process the supplier return. There's another method. Go to supplier invoice list, and click actions, click create supplier return. Then also system will fill these supplier items and supply invoice details. From here also you can return purchase items to the supplier. If you want to change this quantity or price, you can change from here. Okay, like that you can enter supply invoices. First one, go to suppliers, transactions, supplier return, click add supplier return, select the supplier and enter amounts, select items and return quantity and price, or you can select from invoice. Last option is go to supply invoices, select the supply invoice and click actions, click create supplier return. These three methods you can create a supplier return, and if you want to change that quantity, you can change from here. Okay, now you can enter supplier return. Okay, in supplier returns also you can view these options. Supplier return history, user defined fields, document attachments, document notes, and if you want to re-invoice this return, you can re-invoice or you can copy supplier return. Okay, next we will move to supplier payments. Go to suppliers, transactions, supplier payments, click add supplier payment. Select supplier, and when you select the supplier, system will display outstanding invoices of that supplier. You can enter amount here, payment amount. Or if you are paying for invoices, you can still tick these options. Then this payment amount will calculate. Then if you are paying from check, you can enter that check number and you can select the bank account. If you want to add any description to this payment, you can add here. And from here, payment method, you can select the payment method. If you are paying from check, you can select check, and under reference, you can enter that check number. Okay, now you can enter supplier payment. Okay, now assume sometimes if you pay early, your supplier will give discount for you. Now, for an example, for this 250,000 invoice, you are paying early, and that supplier will give you a 10,000 discount. That case, you can select that invoice and you can enter discount here, and you can change that paid amount to 240,000, and you can process this supplier payment. Okay, if you pay early, or if your supplier giving special discount, uh, you can enter that discount in when you are processing the payment, or if your supplier giving discount, you can enter from when you are entering supplier invoice. And if your supplier giving additional discount after supplier invoice, you can enter that discount when you are processing supplier payment. Okay, such as uh, early settlement discount, those things you can settle from, or you can enter when you are processing the supplier payment. And you can process, so there are two options. You can email uh, detailed payment voucher. You can send a detail or summary, or you can print detailed payment voucher. It will display that invoice wise, supply invoice wise detail, or you can print that summary. Then it will not display that supply invoice wise amounts. It will display only total. Okay, now you can enter that supply payment. You can check that discount, and if you are paying advance payment to supplier without selecting invoice, you can do the payment. If you are paying advance payment, you can just enter that payment amount, and payment method you can select payment date, uh, check number, and you can select the bank account. If you are paying advance payment, you don't want to select invoices, you can just enter payment amount, and you can process the supplier payment. Okay, in addition to this, from supplier transaction, you can enter supplier payments from this banking also. Go to banking, transaction, banking. Select the bank account, and you can enter the date and change type to supplier. Select supplier here. Enter amount. And from here, you can select that payment paying invoice. Okay, you can do the supplier payment from this banking module also. Go to banking, transaction, banking, select bank, change type to supplier, select the supplier, enter amount under spent. By clicking this arrow, you can open this outstanding list and you can select that uh, invoice you are going to pay. Okay, after that you can save. And also when you are paying time also, if you want, you can select your analysis code. From here you can select your analysis code. Okay, you can take a couple of minutes and you can check that analysis code, and you can do the payment from banking module. Okay, before next session, if you can please enter a few supplier invoices and supplier payments, then we can do that allocate payments. And if you have any questions, you can ask, and also appreciate if you can give any comments on that speed and that practice time. It will helpful for improve our lecture sessions. And please, if you can give any comment on this speed and practice time, we can improve our lecture sessions. So we will stop for today, and if you have any questions, you can ask now. Okay, next session we will complete this supplier transactions and we will move to supplier reports. If you have any questions, you can ask. And also we will share that user manuals within this week. You can refer that notes also. And also please please view the you can go through that session videos also, and if you have any questions you can ask before the session or after the session. Okay, then thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chandra.
Okay, welcome.